Boy, have we got a heck of a deer for you guys tonight. This is a deadhead found by the guy that's been supplying our racks so far, Jason Humble, Final Feeding Taxidermy, out of state. This deer came from out of state. It's a deadhead. Now get the story. He and the guy that he was hunting with watched this deer and another deer fighting at a distance. And that other deer boogered this one up so bad, Jason said when that deer left the field, he knew. He said, man, this thing, yeah, I don't know, that don't look good. Didn't see the deer anymore that season. And this is, I think it was about 5 years ago. And come in shed hunting and actually walked up on this dead head. So he's 100% sure this is not a disease-killed deer, this or a bad shot placement. This is what whitetails do, I guess. They fight, for breeding. This one unfortunately didn't make it. But the cool part about it is Jason still got him. So what I've done is I've already made my marks on this rack. I'm going to go back and check them for real quick before we get started. I ran out of Buckmaster score sheets. I've just got a regular sheet of paper. You can do it on a regular sheet of paper if you just know the flow and how to do it. So without further ado, let's get started on this dead head and let's talk about, something pretty cool. I say pretty cool. It's something that I think a lot of us have been in life. A lot like this deadhead, man. Jason thought that that this was the end, man. It felt like the end. It felt like the story was unfinished. And through looking in the springtime, come up and found him. Yeah, that's a good mark there. Okay, see, always check your marks, man. I'm telling you. Make your marks and then go back before you get started and make sure that they're true to what you want to represent for that point. I mean, you want to make sure and make your mark on there like you're sawing it off with a saw. I say it every video. Just make it as even. Don't give the deer more than they deserve, but don't give them any less. Give them what they earn, man. Give them what God gave them. And that's what Buckmasters does. We don't do any deductions. We give the deer full credit. That's what we are. We are a full credit scoring system. That's inside spread, deducted from the official score, and then when you add in, I take that back. We just changed that. The official score is going to be the outside spread, the total thing, the gross score. I guess you could say the gross score, inside spread, and total inches of antler. I like to see that total inches of antler personally. I mean, that's pretty cool to me. There are some points on this rack that are long, and you're going to be like, man, that thing looks like it's going to be an inch, and they're not. Ooh, I know what I need to do. I made a mark on this one side. And just out of sheer curiosity while I was marking it, I was like, I got to find out. So I measured it. One side is not an inch. However, if you follow the curvature like you're supposed to, and I'm going to show you when we get to that point, it is an inch. Barely, but it's an inch. I checked that out earlier. All right, so without further ado, let's get started on this right-hand side of this massive out-of-state. And when I say out of state, you're probably like, gee, what state? I really ain't at liberty to say. Okay, I don't like putting places on blast. That's just me, because you know how folks can flock to a spot. So we just gonna call it out of state, and I can say confidently it came out of the Midwest. Okay, I think everybody already knew that. So you got your cable. When you start your main beam measurement, start it on the lowest pedicle on that side that you're working on. Ease up at a 45-degree angle and then get on the backside of that rack and follow the backside of that rack all the way down. Okay? If your hand slips, if you think you don't have a true measurement, start over. One of the most important measurements to me on a set of horns is going to be that main beam measurement. It's a lot of real estate, man. Don't get over there and mess that deer up. Make sure you give it a true main beam length. And then what you can do is right there when you get finished, if you got a cable like you're supposed to, you got an alligator clip. Put that alligator clip on there. Perfect. And then you've got a true main beam measurement. So let's see what the right side main beam is. We're going to do the main beams first because I like to go ahead and get them out of the way. And then we're going to start on irregular points. How about that? So let me get this thing where I can work with it without dropping it. Deadheads are kind of difficult sometimes. They're cumbersome. Ooh, look at here now. Come on, baby. Go on, get it. right side main beam 24 and 3/8. 24 and 3/8. So I'm going to do right side main beam 24 and 3/8. All right, so now let's measure. Let's do some. Whoop. That's my granddaddy's deer right there. That's the biggest mainframe deer he ever killed. I'm going to hang that on him real quick. And then we're going to measure some irregular points on this right-hand side so that we can go ahead and get them out of the way. This one has more points on it. The right-hand side has more irregularity than the left. I want to go ahead and knock that side out. First irregular measurement on the right-hand side. 2 7/8. 2 7/8. Right-hand side. Let me see if I can do this. This is just a big dude, man, and I got a lot of stuff. 2 7/8. All right. Let me check this other one here. So, have you ever had something like this happen to you? You know, where things didn't quite work out like you had hoped? 2 5/8. You know, something didn't happen like you'd hoped, and it didn't work out like you planned it would and hoped it would. You know, I have. And that's what we do here. If this is your first time watching this, I like to give some sort of inspirational little message, man. If that ain't your thing, you probably want to mute or just disregard what I'm talking about. But there it is. How many times has life ain't worked out for you, man? Maybe right now you may be going through something. You may have lost your buck, quote, and metaphorically speaking. How about 6 4/8 on this irregular point? 6 4/8. Might be your job. Might be a relationship, your marriage. Have you ever stumbled through something and feel like you messed it up? Well, you know what? I'm gonna tell you something. I have a lot of times, and I'm gonna tell you this. How about 1 1/8 on this one? 1 1/8. If it's meant for you, baby, if it's really God's plan for you and your life, you'll get it. You'll find it. You'll get your deadhead. You'll get your rack. Okay? Just hang in there. How about 1 2/8? It's not too late to fix stuff. Okay? As long as you're still alive, you got opportunity to improve, to get better, to actually have another chance at something. As long as you, Armadillo ain't your mailman, you're doing all right. How about 1 inch and we're going to call that 1 6/8. It was over to 5/8. We're going to go 1 6/8. You know, it's just like this deadhead, man. Jason, the story felt unfinished, I'm sure. I mean, he had watched this deer for years. And then to watch it go out like that, how about 2 4/8 on this last one? 2 4/8. So what I'm going to show you real quick, this point right here, I had to figure out which one of these two, if we can see it, which one on the brow tine, which one was the irregular point, because it kind of split. So what I had to do was look at the twin over here on the left-hand side, and I figured out the shorter one is going to be the regular point. The longer one is the irregular point. So let's count the number of irregular scoreable points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then go back and count it against how many measurements you got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Perfect. Looks good. Let's get some of these regular points, typical points. Yeah, I'm sure Jason's story felt unfinished with this deer. I would have thought so. I would have felt the same way. That it was just like, God, you got to be kidding me. But you know what? He went back out there, gathered himself, and found it. 5 0/8. This is a huge mainframe 8-point. And when last time I did a mainframe 8-point, I had a couple of people make a comment, oh, mainframe, yeah. Well, you know, it's got 8 typical points. And then like 10 irregular points. Ooh, how about 10 and 5/8 on this one? Good Lance, 10 and 5/8. Okay. Eight and what is that? Let me get on there good. 8 3/8. Yeah, buddy, 8 3/8. So what happens if your mark goes over like that 2/8? It was over the 2/8. You go up to the 3/8. And I mean, it wasn't right on the 2/8. It was over the 2/8. It was probably between 2/8 and 3/8. So you go with the 3/8, man. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do. You don't want to shortchange him, but you want to give him what he got. So now when we do our circumference measurements, guys, always remember we're taking the smallest measurements in these areas. And I know that don't sound right. 6 and 0/8. Yep, it looks like it's going to be 6 and 0/8 for the circumference measurements. Every deer gets 4 circumference measurements. Don't forget that. If you watched the last video, I showed you about an 8-point. Since this is a mainframe 8, I'll show you again. Right now, the smallest spot's 4 and 4/8. Yep, 4 and 4/8. Let's check this next one. 4 and... Where's it at? Yeah, 4 and 2/8. All right, now, what we're going to do, and I'm going to go ahead and do it, now I'm going to show you. We're going to go right there. Out. Oh, where are we at? Right there. We're going to go out. Right about there. I'm going to take mine right here. Hold my hand there. Four and 2/8. Okay, 4 and 2/8. So what I just did, guys, to get your 4th circumference measurement on an 8-point, remember it is half. I mean, it's where this tine right here, the last tine, comes down into the main beam. You start your tape here, you run it all the way here, and you get your measurement. I'll say 10 inches. Okay, well then the halfway spot is going to be 5 inches. And that's where you take your circumference measurement, right there at that halfway spot. Let's go on and go to the left-hand side of the rack. And let's do the main beam on the left-hand side. These things, like I said before, these deadheads are kind of tricky to hold on to. Got my handy dandy cable from my papa. Boy, I tell you, I remember when he killed that dude, whew, he was some kind of excited. And you're like, man, it ain't nothing but a little old 7-point. Yeah, but to a 70-something-year-old man that ain't never been nothing but a meat hunter his whole life, that's a big deal to him. Okay. That deer weighed over 200 pounds. And Papa wrote in the stands, he wrote down every deer we kill on the wall. And he wrote this one in beside it. He put old big boy. But yeah, man, I'm telling you, like this deer, like this shed, something that's meant for you, you're going to find it, okay? And it may not be exactly what you want or what you planned. You know, you don't know what God's plan for your life is. And I said it in that last video. I mean, the only way to figure out what God's plan for your life is keep living. Just keep on living. He's got a plan. Ooh, go on, get your some. That might be 24 and 4/8 right there, yeah. That's 24 and 4/8 on that main beam on the left-hand side. Come on, Jason, huh? Main beam. 24 and 4/8. All right, let's measure some irregular points real quick. How about you? How about you? This one don't have very many, just a few. And it's got 3. 1 and 7/8. That was the first irregular point. Let me check that one. Oh, yeah. I forgot about that one. I missed one. There's one down here at the brow on the right-hand side that might make an inch. I think it is. Nope, it missed it just a scope. I mean, I'm gonna show you on the video. This missed it by about a 30-second. Golly. But again, I'm not gonna give a deer anything it's not gonna make. Okay, I'm not. That's just me. And I'm gonna show you on the I may have to take a picture of it. I'm gonna show you. How about 1 2/8 on this one here? 1 2/8. I don't believe in fabricated scores. I don't believe in hooking folks up. I tell you, one time I thought I was going to have to fight my way out of a deer camp with one of my good buddies. I got him 139 7/8 on a 9-point. And I mean, I thought we shouldn't have to fight, get out of there. How about 4 4? Oh, hold on. There we go. 4 6/8. 4 6/8. Let's count them to make sure. 1, 2, 3. I got 3. Let's move on to some typical points. How about you? Follow the curvature of the point. You may have to do brow tines on the back sometimes. 8 2/8. Typical. 8 2/8. I can't wait to see what this one here is. This one here is going to be a dagger, man. It might not be, well, no, look, it might not be as long as that other one. It's not quite. How about 9 7/8? Not quite. 9 7/8. Let's see what this one here comes to. How about 9 1/8? So that was a little longer. Okay, all right. Now let's go to some circumference measurements. Whoa. See, that's what I'm talking about. Sometimes these deadheads get a little cumbersome to hold. You drop stuff. It happens. You know, when you have your plan don't go like you want to, it hurts, man. And sometimes you lay in bed at night wondering what in the world happened. How about 5 3/8 on this base? But the best way to figure out, to me, when I have things don't work out like I planned, I do a lot of self-examination. I've learned that over the years. You can sit here and blame the situation and say, woe is me, nothing ever works out for me. Or you can sit here and say, you know what, let's figure out where I went wrong. How about 4 4/8? Let's see where I went wrong. And that helps me a lot, because then I can walk it back for the next time I have a opportunity. How about 5 1/8? I did that with this video, with these videos. You know, I'm a perfectionist, man. I love stuff to look good, be good, sound good. And I went out, got a new camera, got a new light so you guys could see a little better. I decided to put it on this microphone. The only thing I battle now is a little bit of an echo. And I'm going to get that rectified, because I want these videos to be good for you guys so that there's not a distraction. So that you can watch these videos and, you know, get a little something out of it. All right, we're going to go. It's going to be right there. Ooh, you lucked out, Mr. Hummel. That's a good spot on that rack, on that main beam to get a circumference measurement. Trust me. How about 4 3/8? 4 3/8. All right, guys. I got him measured out. All we got to do now is get that inside spread. So, what you think the inside spread on this one is? I like to let folks guess what the inside spread is. Let's check it out and see. But yeah, do some self-examination. That's self-examination. I love constructive criticism, and there's nothing like constructive criticism when you're the one doing the criticizing. All right? You can, but don't beat yourself up too bad. All right? You got to have a little ownership. Ownership goes a long way, man. That's growth. When you can show ownership in a situation, and you say, hey, you know what? That's my bad. I screwed that up. Hey, that's a big deal. How about that right there? 17 inches on the nose. All right, you have seen everything. The irregular points, the regular points, the inside spread, the circumference measurements. It all looks beautiful. How high will it fly? Let's get the tail of the tape and see what happens. So I went back and I tallied everything up, and I missed something. I messed something up. And I'm going to show you right now. The inside spread, before I said it was 17 inches. It's actually 18 inches. I don't know what I was thinking when I read the tape. It's early in the morning, I messed up, but that's why you go back and you double check stuff, all right? Always, always, always double check your work on these deer. Great deer. This one is incredible. The main beam on the right side, 24 3/8. Okay? Irregular. I told you the right side had a lot of irregularity to it. It does. 18 5/8 inches worth of irregularity. The total inches of antler on the right-hand side without the inside spread, this is just the bone on the right-hand side, 86 0/8. Left side, main beam, 24 4/8. Not as many irregular points. It only had 3. Those tallied up to be 7 7/8. Great circumference measurements for a total on the left-hand side of 79 0/8. So when you tally that 79, the 86, and the 18, you come up to 183 on the button. I'm talking about that is a stud of a deer. I'm glad you found him, Jason. I believe he's got 18 scoreable points. Let me go back and count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 scoreable points on this deer. Whew, love it. Look, guys, I know your plan may not have worked out for you, okay? You know, it happens. But like Jason did with this deer, don't give up on it. Keep chasing that dream. Keep looking for what you dream for, what you want. And if it's God's plan, you're going to find it, baby. Not even you. I say this to myself all the time. Greg Hicks, if this is God's plan, not even you can screw it up. And that's the truth. So keep living, keep digging. And you're going to get where you need to be in life. I promise you, man. You've had a few setbacks, but keep pushing. My name is Greg Hicks. This is the Antlers and Hicks podcast. And as always, I'm going to encourage you guys to live your life past 20 yards. We'll see y'all next time.